Andrew, this is becoming a regular tale of Prince Harry and Meghan suing associated newspapers, isn't it?
It certainly is, and it's the next chapter, if you like, in this dispute. It always used to be the royal mantra, you never complain, never explain, and that's what came back originally from Benjamin Disraeli. It was his sort of thing. Nowadays, where we're living in a world where 90% of what we do is how we react to it, 10% about things that happen to us. And they always say, look, reputation is more precious than valuable ointment, and the most jewel in our crown is about our reputation. So you're absolutely right. Harry basically is having another go at associated newspapers. This was to do with a piece by Kate Manzi in February 2022 with the headline exclusive, How Prince Harry Tried to Keep His Legal Fight with the Government Over Police Bodyguards a Secret. Then, just minutes after the story broke, his PR machine tried to put a positive spin on the dispute. Harry's legal team said this is highly defamatory. What's happened, it's basically they're trying to cause substantial hurt and embarrassment and distress to Harry. They say it's nothing to do with that, and people wouldn't look at those words and assume it's defamatory. As in breaking it down, there are three elements that we need to look at. One was there a statement made in public, which it clearly was. The second thing is, was it defamatory? And to be defamatory has to bring somebody down in the eyes of right-thinking people. When you look at those words, do you think less of Harry as a result of it? Is the real sort of test. And the final thing, which is important, is has there been significant damage? So get rid of trivial cases. As you rightly said in your brilliant introduction, this is not the first time that Harry and Meghan have basically been taking action against associated newspapers. It was back in February 2021 when Harry took an action against the same people, basically about an article which said that he snubbed the Royal Marines. He snubbed the Royal Marines, he finished his royal duties, and he also ignored a letter from Lord Dannatt asking him to turn up for a particular event. In that case, he got substantial damages, and he gave it to Invictus Games, which is a brilliant initiative founded in 2014. Meghan was also successful in her claim against them, which concerned the publication, if you remember, of a letter from her father, a very deeply personal letter from the father. And that was published by Associated Newspapers. And she had two cases on that. One was about privacy, and the other was on infringement of copyright. And what they basically said, again, Meghan was successful in that because the proportion of the letter which was published was too much. The court said if they printed a little bit of it, that would have been OK. So, yes, Harry's there again. He's saying it is deeply defamatory. It's horrendous on that sort of basis. And Associated Newspapers are saying, no, it's not.
I just wondered why they've been so litigious. I mean, is it because they are so, wounded by these things? Or is it because it's, lots of people are litigious because it deters people from printing stories about them? Do you think that might be an element of this, that it they want people to think twice before they print stories about them?
I think they are genuinely deeply hurt by what's going on. I mean, Harry said famously one of the reasons he left the UK was because of British media. And I think British media have been having a pop at Harry and Meghan, maybe sometimes working backwards on the story. We always have to balance it, don't we? There's freedom of expression. Freedom of speech is the cornerstone of our democracy, but it's not freedom from consequences.
Yeah. And I suspect, I was just going to say, I suppose his experience of his mum possibly shapes his view about the media and what she had to...
Very I think it does, but like you said, he wanted to escape Britain.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't. He keeps coming back. Yeah. So that's one thing. And the other thing, I wondered whether this, suing, is it more of an American fashion than a British one? And is the relationship with Meghan, part of this, desire to sue?
Yeah, I think it's again a very legitimate point. It's very litigious in America. The question, it is so horrendously expensive to take a defamation here. And the reason it's so expensive is because it's so fact-reliant, which means you've got to have lots of witnesses, which means that trials tend to go on for a long time. The Defamation Act basically made sure that they wanted it to be a judge who would do it rather than a jury. We saw last time we talked about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where it was a jury. And that was to try and save those sort of costs on that sort of basis.
Or is it now that they are living their life in the media and spotlight more than ever before. Netflix series, being in TV, this, that. So they need something, and they're conjuring up stories that they can sell on.
Well, I think there's a combination, and people were worried, did they have a Netflix crew with them when they came over to introduce Lilibet to Lilibet?
Oh, and the Queen was spot on there, wasn't she? We won't have a photo with your photographer of Lilibet with Lilibet, so the Queen's no fool.
No, she absolutely isn't any fool, an absolute thing on that sort of basis. But you're right, let's look at that, let's keep to the facts, but make sure freedom of expression, but not freedom from consequences.